everybody for tuning in today. You are listening to Society Bites Radio. My name is Jillian Beth, and I'm an intuitive healer and coach on a mission to empower women by reconnecting them to their inner wisdom. And I'm so incredibly grateful to have all of you here today, and extra excited to have the amazing JB, or Jim, as the people close to him get to call him, back today. You guys, if you missed last week's show, you must go check it out. We're talking about the topic of bringing peace and unity to our culture. I just think this is such a great topic that all of us really need to hear. We're touching on some awesome things. We started the conversation again last week, and this week we're going to talk about specific things that we can do to create that change and awareness. So a little bit about Jim. He is the CEO of Perceptive Insights, and Perceptive is a small business growth acceleration firm. He and his firm work with growth-focused business owners that want to make a massive impact with their businesses, and they want to scale their ventures ethically and profitably, and are willing to put in the effort to be successful on a daily basis, which is so important. You got to be willing to put in that effort. Now, he is also passionate about assisting small business startups, creating and implementing the systems necessary for them to accomplish their goals. And he is an inspiring presenter on the subjects of collaborative capitalism, working together to build better communities, and designing and building your dream life. Who doesn't want some of that? Now, he holds a BA in philosophy from Santa Clara University, and he is a current board member of the National Hispanic Organization of Real Estate Associates. What a varied background, Mr. Jim Herrera.
Thank you, Jillian Beth.
So excited to have you back. Yes.
Yeah, this is awesome.
It's so good. And I truly think the conversation we had last week we were beginning to scratch the surface, and this is a powerful, important conversation. And I'm extra excited this week because often I find that, people talk about a lot of different great things, but it's also important to bring along with the awareness some real life grounded action steps, right, that we can take to actually make a change. So that's what we're going to discuss today.
Absolutely. So thank you. So, yeah. And last week was really kind of identifying what the challenge is and why, right? Part of where we are in our world, in the cynicism and the snarky comments and the tweets and all the other stuff that's kind of going on, we can change. We can actually improve our lives and the lives of others around us, but it's going to take a slightly different approach. And Jillian Beth, are you familiar with the different stages of grief?
I am somewhat familiar with it. Yes.
Okay. Well, there are different levels. You have to go through, acceptance and denial and the other steps that go along with that. But when we talk about change, there's something similar. There are steps of change, and there are 5 of them. Pre-contemplation. This is when people don't even think about changing. That's kind of where we are right now. Nobody really wants to change. Everybody wants to be aware of how they've been wronged, or they want to be in a position where they can help themselves. There's nothing wrong with that. It just is. Then the next phase.
Would you say that's even, before we go to that, it makes me think of like pre-awareness. It's like when they say, what is it in like AA, having acknowledging that you have the addiction, and I'm probably totally screwing this up, but it's like before the step before you even have the awareness. That's the pre-contemplation. That's
exactly right. Exactly.
Okay, perfect.
I used to call that being in a state of cluelessness.
Which is sometimes blissful, but not very helpful.
That's exactly right. And we'll talk about blissful ignorance here in a little bit. So the next step is contemplation. In this phase, people intend to start a different type of healthy behavior in the future at some point. Maybe in the next 6 months, maybe in the next 12 months, I can change. Now, this change that we're talking about, these steps, can be for almost anything. I'm going to change my eating patterns. I'm going to change by going out and exercising more. Or I'm going to change how I raise my kids or my relationship with my significant other, right? All of these are, kind of steps that apply to so many different concepts. So step 2, again, is contemplation. You intend to start a new behavior at some point in the future. So it's a little nebulous, right? You got a little wiggle room there.
The awareness is here, and now it's like, okay, I'm not wanting to, right. I don't really want to keep doing whatever it is that I'm doing, whether it's clocking into the job that I don't like or in this relationship that could be better. It's that first awareness step.
Yep. Perfect. Now, once you get beyond that, now you have like determination, which is the next step. Now you've made a decision that you need to take action, and you need to take action now. Okay. So now it can be between now and the next 30 days, because many times people can make a decision, but things kind of get in the way. And generally from a coaching perspective, right, that's when things kind of fall apart. That's why it's really important to have great life coaches and great business coaches who can help them through that stage. You made a decision and you need to follow through.
Yeah. So because there's always another Monday or another first of the year or whatever else. So it's I am now determined to actually do the thing I need to do to make the change. And exactly. I would venture to guess, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but without that determination, real change isn't going to happen.
Exactly. And this is where you see a lot of motivational videos on YouTube, where they show the athlete, the runner, the football player, the person who's running, and they're going to give it their all, and they're going to just leave it all out there, and you've got to almost angry about moving forward. So that's good, and yet I'll tell you that there are some bad things about that too. And we'll talk about that in a second. So determination is the third step. The fourth step is action. And in that stage, people really, they've recently changed, right? They made that determination. They've started taking some action steps, and they want to keep moving forward with that behavior, right? They're still having some problems. They kind of slip back and forth. That's just the nature of building a new habit, right? But they're taking proactive action, right? They're being perceptive. They're being perceptive about their situation, right? And they're taking action on it. So this is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, these new behavior patterns are starting to become habits. And as you do that, then you can jump into the next stage, which is maintenance. That's where you've changed your behavior for a while, probably for about 6 months or so, and you intention to maintain that behavioral change moving forward. Okay?
Yeah.
So now let's talk about where we are and see how the stages of change, where we are today, and what we need to do in order to change our culture for the better. So
let's do it.
Okay? So today, in many places, we're still in that pre-contemplation stage. When we talked last time about tribes, and we have social media places and online communities that are so angry about what their lives have been, or the fear of what their lives might be because of change that they cannot control, that their activities are designed around keeping things exactly the way they are. In fact, not only do I want things to stay the way they are, I want you who want change, I want you to go away, period.
Yeah. Either fall in line or go away. Yes.
Right. Exactly. Now, that starts to, you can start thinking about fanatics. can be in that world, right? That they're angry about that. Now, assuming we want to change culture, and we talked a little bit about the butterfly effect in our last episode here, we have to really think about our intention and start to create intended consequences for what we want our world to look like. We don't necessarily do that right now. We can't get to determination and action and maintenance until we actually think through what we intend our outcome to be.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes.
Talk about awareness an awful lot.
That's right? Exactly what came to mind. Right. Because without that and having the awareness of whether it is, okay, where I am today with this thing that I want to change and where I want to be, you can't be intentional about the choices you're making to get yourself there.
Right. Exactly right. So once you have that in place, it's firmly planted in your brain, and it's taken root inside of how you start to think. Then you go, every action I take is going to be viewed by somebody, especially on social media. Right? Tell you a quick story. My daughter is engaged to be married, and love that, by the way. She's a sweetheart. And her fiance is a practical joker. And I said to him, be careful what you post because you never know what's going to happen. Oh, yeah. Whatever. So there was a while ago, there was a YouTube video on eating cinnamon. And it was a really funny, I have air quotes going on right now, funny video, right? And because it was funny to watch other people try and eat cinnamon and cough and hack. So my future son-in-law decided he wanted to have that fun too. And, pretty much created a pretty bad health problem for himself as a result of trying to do that. We had to take him to the emergency room and a bunch of other things.
He actually did it? Oh, no.
Because his tribe of people thought it was fun and cool.
Yes.
And he wanted to participate in that and be accepted by his tribe. So, the question was, what were the unintended consequences? Well, first of all, my daughter was scared to death that she might lose him, right? And then we had to, all kinds of hospital issues that we had to deal with as well. So the key here is understanding that everything that we do is going to have a consequence. Before we had our social media and our connected world, you could do something in the privacy of your own home and it would be fine. It's no big deal, right? I mean, if you wanted to be stupid, you could be stupid and it wouldn't have a massive effect. Now, however,
it's so true. Yeah.
It's the exact opposite. What we want to do is we want to have that massive effect. And so what happens is we go from, oh, this is kind of funny to, okay, well, now everybody has that, whatever that ends up being. I want to take it 2 steps further to be funny because everybody understands that previous joke. So now we have to do a joke that's a little bit more ostentatious and outrageous. And then we have to do it again and again and again. So we do have these unintended consequences, and it's all part of our psychology, right? Trying to be in that community and be accepted by our
which is brilliant marketing.